Greetings. This is the fourth episode on the issue capital gains, and this episode is being shot from our studios, and the person who interviews will also appear on the screen. Our team consists of a young production executive and a competent director. Capital gains which we deal with pertain to land and buildings. Buildings are covered under section 54. Buildings, I mean residential buildings, and in the case of residential buildings, it is enough if only the net capital gains is invested. In the case of sale of land or commercial buildings, the entire consideration has got to be invested. The purchase of the property has to be made within a period of 2 years from the date of sale, and in the case of construction, 1 more year has been given, that is 3 years are allowed for investing in construction of the property. The property can also be purchased 1 year prior to sale. In respect of residential properties, any number of properties can be purchased and sold, but only on 1-to-1 principle. In the sense, the first property capital gain arises to the tune of 1 crore and only 85 lakhs is invested. The surplus arising 15 lakhs cannot be invested in the second property to take advantage of it. And 2 properties in India can now be purchased in respect of on sale of residential property, and this can be exercised only once, provided the capital gains does not exceed 2 crores, and this facility is not available to sale of land. Now over to question answer session.
Greetings, sir.
Come on, go on.
We will now go to our question answer session. What happened if the newly purchased property is sold, transferred within 2 years from the date of purchase construction after claiming exemption?
The newly acquired property should not be sold within a period of 24 months from the date of purchase or construction. If such property is sold, then the capital gain exemption provided earlier will be withdrawn, and the capital gain liability shall arise in the year of transfer.
What then is the solution, sir, if the capital gain is not reinvested before filing of income tax return?
As mentioned in the earlier episode, lot of cash management has got to be made. Let us take the same example. Suppose the property sold on 27th of June 2020. Investment in capital gain bond has got to be made before 26/12/2020. Suppose it is not possible to purchase a new property before the date of investment in capital gain bonds, then cash flow management has got to be made, in the sense that we should ascertain how much of money is required for purchase of the new residential property. The balance of amount has got to be invested in capital gain bonds. Though 2-year period has been given for purchase of a property and 3-year period for construction of the property, the investment in capital gain scheme account has got to be made before the due date of filing of the return, and all payment should go only from that account. Let me make it very clear to you. In case it is not possible to purchase a property before the due date of filing of the return, for example, for the year ending 31/3/2021, the last date for filing of the return is 31/7/2021. In case it is not possible to purchase a property before the date, then an account called Capital Gain Account Scheme 1988, we will call it as CGA or CGAS. The amount has got to be invested in that account, and all payments pertaining to purchase or construction has got to be made only from that account.
What is Capital Gain Account Scheme 1988 account?
It is an account opened by the seller of the property to take advantage of capital gain that is likely to arise on sale or transfer of the capital asset.
Who can open such account, sir?
The seller of the property can open the account, and the account can be opened, then any number of installments can be deposited in the account. As and when advances are received or as and when funds are received, the amount can be deposited in capital gain scheme account.
What are the different types of accounts, and can you explain what they signify?
Deposit account A, it signifies it's a savings bank account. Deposit account B, this is a fixed deposit account. It may be cumulative or non-cumulative.
Can you explain how these accounts operate?
Deposit account A is a savings bank account from which withdrawals can be made, and deposit B account is a fixed deposit account. It may be a cumulative fixed deposit or a non-cumulative fixed deposit, and the amount can be invested for a period of 2 years or 3 years depending upon whether the purchase of newly residential property is going to be purchased or construction has got to be made. Then it has got to be for a period of 3 years. When deposit account B is opened, necessarily deposit A account has got to be opened, so that interest on the savings bank account and fixed deposit account can be credited to deposit A account, and the proceeds on the maturity of the fixed deposit can be credited to deposit A account.
How are the deposits made in such accounts?
Deposit in such account can be made either in installments or as and when funds are available on receipt of funds from the purchaser, either in one lump sum or the money is paid in installments as and when the funds are received.
Where should the deposits be made?
The deposit should be made either in State Bank of India or any of the subsidiaries of State Bank of India or any of the nationalized banks as notified by the central government.
What is the rate of interest, sir?
In the case of savings bank account, the rate as notified by the central government, that is the Reserve Bank of India, will be the rate at which the amount will be credited. Now, I think some of the banks credit once in 2 months, some of the banks credit once a quarter, and in the case of fixed deposits also, the rates are determined by the Reserve Bank of India. In other words, it is more or less a floating rate.
Is this interest earned taxable, sir?
Certainly yes. The interest earned on such deposits, whether it is SB account or the fixed deposit, is taxable, and it is added to the other income and is subject to tax at normal rates.
How should this amount withdrawn be utilized?
The amount withdrawn from such account should be utilized in purchase of materials for the newly constructed property, or should be used for paying the seller of the property, and can also be used for only purposes for which the construction is being made.
Is there any time limit for utilization of the amount withdrawn?
Obviously yes. If the amount withdrawn is not utilized within a period of 60 days from the date of withdrawal, the amount has got to be deposited or redeposited. In case out of 20,000 drawn at a particular point of time, 15,000 is utilized within a period of 60 days, the balance of money has got to be deposited. In case no money has been utilized, the entire money has got to be deposited back in account number A.
Can the amount standing to the credit of the CGA scheme be used for creating any other charge?
Certainly not. When the government extends certain facility to a taxpayer, the government is entitled to withdraw it. In case the amount in capital gains is utilized for taking a loan or a security or standing as a guarantee, the government has got a right to take back the exemption. So, this creating a liability or offering as a security or standing as a guarantee is not permitted.
What would happen in the event of failure to utilize the amount deposited under the CGA scheme?
Let us recapitulate. In the case of purchase of a property, the purchase has got to be made within a period of 2 years from the date of transfer of the old capital asset, and in the case of construction, it has got to be done within a period of 3 years, and if the property is not purchased before the due date of filing of the return, then the amount has got to be deposited in an account known as CGAS, and if the amount deposited in CGAS is not utilized within a period of 2 years for purchase of the property, or within a period of 3 years for construction of the property from the date of sale, then the amount remaining in that account will be chargeable to tax in the year in which the 2-year period or 3-year period expires. And in this case, the amount cannot easily be withdrawn. The application has got to be made to the assessing officer in form G, and the assessing officer means income tax officer, after after going through all the papers, will address a letter to the bank stating that how much of tax has got to be deducted on the deposit or the amount that is lying in the SB account.
Is the taxpayer entitled to withdraw this amount from the accounts?
Yes, it has been covered in the previous question itself. When the money is not utilized, then the unutilized amount is subject to tax. As I stated earlier, an application has got to be made to the income tax officer. Then he will issue a letter to the bank requesting the bank to withhold the percentage of tax. The balance of money will be released. But it is chargeable to tax only in the year in which such period expires.
Is it possible to transfer deposit accounts from one branch of a bank to the other branch?
Absolutely. It is possible to transfer from one branch. Suppose I got an account with the State Bank of India, account A, that can be transferred to some other branch, say B. It's possible.
Can funds be transferred from deposit B to deposit A account for the purpose of making payment for purchase of a construction of the house?
Definitely. Because fixed deposit amount itself signifies the amount is kept for a period of a few years, 2 years or 3 years as the case may be. When the necessity arises, the amount from deposit account B has got to be transferred to deposit account A, which is an SB account from which the payments have to be made.
What is the stipulated procedure, sir, for withdrawing amount from deposit account A?
Application in Form C has got to be made with a list of items that are required in Form D, and this application has got to be made to the bank. Normally the bank takes about 2 days to accord sanction. All withdrawals from this SB account can then be utilized for the purchase of materials that are required for the newly constructed property, or the payments to be made to the seller of the property.
Is there any restriction regarding withdrawal of amount in cash?
A maximum of 20,000 rupees can be withdrawn at any point of time.
Is nomination facility available, sir?
Before talking about nomination, let us understand one thing. A nominee is not entitled to get the property unless he is also the beneficiary. A nominee, in ordinary parlance and as well as in legal parlance, will be holding the property in trust for the person for whom the property is meant. Nomination facility is definitely possible, and an application in Form E has got to be made. In case anything were to happen to the depositor, the money will be paid to the nominee who will be holding the money in trust for the ultimate beneficiaries.
What would happen if the depositor dies before the expiry of the stipulated period of 3 years from the date of deposit?
Unfortunately, if the depositor dies within a period of 3 years, then the money will be paid to the nominees who will be holding the money in trust for the ultimate beneficiaries, and this amount is not subject to tax. That will be covered in the next question. And it is not necessary also to purchase a new property, and the money can automatically go to the beneficiaries without any stipulations with regard to the holding of money in the CGAS account.
Will tax be levied on the money transferred to nominees on the death of the account holder before the stipulated period of 3 years from the date of deposit?
The Central Board of Direct Taxes, the highest body so far as Finance Ministry is concerned, has issued a circular stating that such money given to the nominee for the benefit of beneficiaries will not be subject to tax.
Where can the above forms be downloaded, sir?
All forms relating to capital gain account scheme can be downloaded from the income tax site, which will be displayed on the screen. We are sure you enjoyed this episode, and there has been a lot of responses, and for any questions through mail, you can refer to our email ID at the end of this episode. Thank you. We'll see you in the coming episodes.